Ready, set, adventure! Welcome to Hikanuki World Tour and our whirlwind visit to Rome. We'll spend the day at some of the must-see locations, including the Borghese Gallery, Trevi Fountain, and the Spanish Steps. We'll eat some pizza and then spend the night at the Hoxton Hotel, Rome, before departing the next morning for our cruise aboard the NCL Pearl. Greetings from O'Hare Airport. Tonight we'll be boarding a plane for our 9.5-hour journey to Rome. But first we'll stop at Rick Bayless's Frontera Grill for a quick snack. We know we can't count on the airline food, but we can always count on Frontera. We chose the chips and loaded guacamole, as well as a Mexican beer and a chorizo torta to start us out. Much to our delight, our flight was on time, and here we go. Chicken or pasta were the selections of the night, and the flight attendant assured me they were both equally delicious. I guess that's a matter of opinion. We arrived the next day, Sunday, at 9:15 in the morning. The flight was uneventful, and we were able to get some sleep. Oftentimes when arriving internationally, you will have to take a bus back over to the terminal instead of using a jetway. We traveled by taxi, which was about a 45-minute ride to our hotel, the Hoxton. We chose this hotel because our main goal was to visit the Villa Borghese, and this hotel was located within walking distance. The hotel features an Italian restaurant with indoor and outdoor seating. Upon entering the hotel, you'll be greeted by a wide open lobby with plenty of comfortable seating. You can grab a drink or a snack from the lobby cocktail bar and sit and plan your day. The hotel offers 192 rooms. We found it to be very comfortable and welcoming. Decor was modern and floor-to-ceiling windows let in lots of light. The hotel is located about 0.8 of a mile from the city center, which is easily accessible by cab or about a half-hour walk. If you're looking for a less frenetic pace or a hotel nearer to the Villa Borghese, then this could be the place for you. They do offer free bicycles if you'd like to get around the city that way. One nice perk was that they offered breakfast in a bag, whereby you filled out what you'd like, such as yogurt, pastry, fruit, and juice, and in the morning it would be hanging on your door for just a €5 charge. This was a really nice way to get the day started. Let's continue looking around the lobby before we head up to the room. Front desk staff were friendly and efficient and all spoke English. There's also a mini market where you can grab a drink or some snacks. And now we'll head to the 4th floor to room 411. Elevators were a bit small, so hopefully you didn't overpack. I thought the hotel had an Art Deco feel to it. Hallways and stairwells were definitely interesting. Welcome to room 411. They consider this a cozy room, which consisted of one king bed at 205 square feet. It's geared for people who are going to spend most of their time out of the room exploring the city. They also offer room types called roomy, which is up to 248 square feet, or biggie, which was 301 square feet. The room was definitely cozy, but it suited our purposes as we were only going to be there overnight. There was a hanging bar for clothing and a couple of cubbies to stow away your clothes. The room felt fresh and clean, the bed was comfortable, the shower had good water pressure, so really, what more do you need for an overnight stay? The room had everything necessary, including a small fridge, a safe, hairdryer, small TV, and coffee service. And there was a small bedside table on each side of the bed with a lamp and some additional storage space. The king-size bed was comfy, which was important after our long flight. I'd say the bathroom was equally cozy. It was clean and fresh, and there were plenty of towels provided. Liquid hand soap as well as lotion are provided, which I think is a nice touch. The shower had an overhead rainfall shower as well as a handheld attachment and came with shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. I liked the color of the tile and it was impeccably clean. The fixtures gave it a little bit of an old-fashioned feel, but the cleanliness was nothing but modern. The amenities were made by Blank, which I'm not familiar with, but I did think they were nice. So after freshening up a bit, it's time to head outside. Rome's Jubilee is being celebrated next year, so there's a lot of construction throughout the city, including outside our hotel. Villa Borghese covers 200 acres and is the largest park in Rome. Here you'll find tourists and locals alike. It's the perfect place for a stroll, a jog, a bike ride, a stroller ride, just about anything, especially on a beautiful day like this. The building in front of us is the Galleria Borghese. It houses sculptures, paintings, and ancient mosaics from the 15th to the 18th century. I found this gallery to be the most stunning collection of artistic genius and awe-inspiring masterpieces that I've ever seen, including the Vatican. If you're planning a visit, it's imperative to have a ticket in advance, as tickets are limited and almost impossible to get the day of. Tickets are sold for 2-hour intervals, and you'll get a sticker, which you can place on this garbage can once you're finished. We booked in advance with Viator and booked the hosted Skip the Line ticket. We were a little hesitant to book with Viator because we had tried once before and our guide didn't show up and they wouldn't give us a ticket, so we didn't get to go into the gallery. But we didn't think that would happen again, so we booked the hosted tour. And shame on me for not reading carefully, because a hosted tour is not the same thing as a guided tour. A hosted tour meant that somebody sat outside, gave you your ticket, and then that was it. I thought this was very misleading and disappointing, but we were able to go into the gallery, and that was the most important thing. Our amazing big benefit from booking with Viator is we didn't have to stand in this line to exchange our ticket. You should know that most backpacks and purses will not be allowed, so make sure anything you need is in your pocket. We were about 30 minutes early, so we decided to go to the cafe to see what they had to offer. They had beautiful pastries and bakery items, as well as sandwiches, salads, and drinks, and we definitely recommend get a panini before seeing Bernini. And while everything looked mouth-watering delicious, of course it came with a price tag. But it was convenient and we couldn't help but get ourselves a slice of chocolate cake. There's also a coffee bar as well as an alcoholic beverage bar. While I did think it was a generous portion, unfortunately the taste just didn't live up to my expectation. And now it was just about time for our ticketed entry. We did get the audio guide to help us along. Tickets are scanned and each person is given a dot that shows what time they have to leave the gallery. The outside waiting areas don't prepare you for what waits within. Entering the gallery, you are immediately immersed in the art around you. From the floors to the ceilings to the walls to the displays in the middle of the room, it is just astounding. The thing that struck me most about this gallery was the accessibility to all the artwork. In most museums, the significant pieces are found behind ropes or behind glass, or you view from a distance, but not here. You are absolutely up close, almost within touching distance. And in every room, don't forget to look up and look down. I'm not an art historian, so I won't comment on the specific pieces. I'll just point out a few things that really stood out to me. The first sculpture you encounter by Gian Lorenzo Bernini The Rape of Proserpina, depicts the abduction by Pluto as he takes her to the underworld. This masterpiece was completed early in Bernini's career when he was only 23 years old. The detail in this sculpture is absolutely mind-blowing. The way he has his hand on her thigh, it looks like he's pressing into flesh. And the muscles on his legs, everything you look at is just amazing. This sculpture was completed between 1621 and 22. Just a little history about the villa. In 1605, Pope Paul V turned the land he owned on the outskirts of the city over to his nephew, Scipione Borghese, and asked him to assemble the world's greatest art collection. And I think he did a pretty good job. Borghese was an early patron of Bernini, and many of his masterpieces are on display here. And be sure to step outside to the gardens. These gardens provide an example of what early 17th century flower gardens would have looked like. The gardens are divided into small compartments, and what they would have contained would have been daffodils, hyacinths, crocuses, ornithagals, and other bulbous plants. And now back inside. Although we wished we had had a guided tour, we did find the audio tour very helpful and found that most of the sculptures and paintings were well marked. Every once in a while there was a piece of modern art thrown in, which I found a little distracting and unnecessary. Another amazing piece with three-dimensionality. Napoleon's sister Pauline actually posed naked for this sculpture, making her brother none too happy. And here another Bernini sculpture of David. The detail of the hair and the muscles and the fingers, everything is just something to behold. And here's a sculpture of Apollo and Daphne as Daphne is turned into a laurel. Notice how her hair turns into leaves and arm turns into the branch. And here's another modern art sculpture. A spiral staircase connects the two floors of the gallery. And of course, no museum would be complete without a gift shop. So that's how we spent the first part of the afternoon in Rome, and after about a 10-minute walk, we found ourselves at the Piazza di Spagna. It's mid-September, which had in the past been shoulder season, but as you can see, there were still quite a few people around. On this day, it was about 80 degrees, sunny, and warm. I do recommend visiting at this time of year, but don't think that you're going to be the only person there. This piazza is famous for the Spanish steps. The 135 stairs connect the piazza up to the church above. And as you can see, this is a busy place, even during shoulder season. Fountain at the base of the steps, Fountain of the Boat in English, was built by Pietro Bernini and his son Gian Lorenzo Bernini. and completed in 1629. The steps are dedicated to the Holy Trinity, represented by their three tiers, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. The staircase is thought by many to be the most monumental staircase on the planet. They attract tourists, locals, filmmakers, and social media influencers alike, and are always a very busy place. Technically, you can be fined for sitting, lying down, or damaging the steps. You could also be fined for eating messy food or making a mess on the steps. Officials patrol the area and can impose hefty fines of 250 euros just for sitting down. Upon reaching the top of the steps, you'll be rewarded with a beautiful view. One more layer to go. At this level, you'll find gifts and souvenirs, and even some fresh herbs and seed packets for sale. And here's the beautiful church. Outside the church stands a Roman obelisk which was moved here in 1789. The hieroglyphic inscription was copied from that on the obelisk of the Piazza del Popolo. That blue sky is just majestic. Pause another moment to take in the spectacular views of the city. The church was founded in 1502 by Louis XII of France. Inside you'll find even more remarkable works of art. And from the quiet solitude of the church back to the frenetic pace of the Spanish Steps. Apparently, most people don't adhere to the no sitting or standing or laying on the steps.
Congratulations!
There's plenty of high-end shopping in this piazza. And here's a little cutie. And two more little cuties. We popped into a lemon shop where they sell everything lemon, including beer. So we had to give that a try. It was nice and light, like a summer shandy. You never know what you might see on the streets of Rome. And now we're walking through the busy, lively Piazza San Lorenzo in Lucina. And that can mean only one thing: gelato! We stopped at the popular Valentino's, and it's popular for a reason, because the gelato was delicious. There were many flavors to choose from, so there should be something for everyone. We had a scoop of pistachio and chocolate chip and liked them both. And the little cone on top is just as good as it is cute. And to follow up on our gelato, what's better than pizza? We chose Piazza Italy near the Trevi Fountain. Pizza, P-I-N-S-A, is a style of hand-pressed pizza dough and results in a rectangular or oblong-shaped pizza. And the best accompaniment is an Italian beer. The restaurant had both outdoor and indoor seating, and we chose a seat inside. They also have cured meats hanging from the ceiling, giving it a very authentic look. My husband had the homemade sausage with peppers. On the menu they called this pepperoni, but the waiter did explain that it would be different than what we were expecting pepperoni to be in America. I had the cinque formaggi, or 5 cheese, which was very good, but very gorgonzola forward. My pizza had the white sauce and my husband's had the red. Both were good. I recommend making a stop here on your way to the Trevi Fountain. And speaking of which, here we are at the Trevi Fountain. Us and all the other folks during shoulder season. The Trevi Fountain is an 18th century fountain and stands 86 feet high and 161 feet wide, making it the largest Baroque fountain in Rome and probably one of the most famous. The tradition of throwing a coin in the fountain is still followed today. With your back to the fountain, use your right hand to throw your coin over your left shoulder and you shall return to Rome. It's been estimated that 3,000 euros are thrown into the fountain each day. This money is collected and given to charity. Because this is such a popular and often overcrowded site, Rome officials are considering ways to keep the crowds down, such as requiring reservations. It also looks like a prime location for pickpockets, so make sure to guard your valuables. The theme of the fountain is taming the waters. Sea Titan Oceanus is the central figure of the fountain, controlling the water's flow from his shell chariot. Located in the Piazza Colonna, the column of Marcus Aurelius, thought to be erected by Commodus around 180 AD, it carries carved representations of the emperor's successful military campaigns. From there we walked to the Piazza della Rotonda to see the Pantheon, originally built in 27 BC and then later rebuilt around 120 AD. The Pantheon is a testament to Roman engineering and architectural brilliance. The Pantheon's dome is the world's largest unsupported concrete dome and is a feat of architectural precision. The oculus, or hole on top, is the only source of light for the interior. After the Pantheon, we strolled over to the Piazza Navona. As I mentioned, next year Rome will be celebrating their Jubilee, and as such, many of the fountains are under construction, including the ones in the Piazza Navona. So we decided to stop at one of the sidewalk cafes and have a drink before heading back to the hotel. We stopped at Camillo and ordered an Aperol Spritz because when in Rome, that's just what you have to do. And this is how we spent our 10-hour layover in the city of Rome before going on our cruise, which we have to get up for early tomorrow and head to Trieste. And while it wasn't a lot of time, I think we made the best of the time that we had. Thanks for joining us at Hikanuki World Tour. Today's travel wisdom comes from Gian Lorenzo Bernini himself. What we have is given by God, and to teach others is to return it to Him. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted when new videos are dropped.